Good evening. This is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the Big Picture webinar for the evening of Wednesday, the 5th of February. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing, learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. Right. Okay, we've had a decent bullish day today, and I was saying this morning in the pre-market video that this was an inflection point, and if the head and shoulders that I was talking about on Monday continued to form, then they were going to start heading back towards the neckline, but they didn't do that, and we went up instead. That is bullish, and I'm leaning towards this being a flag and this heading up into a retest of these highs, subject to obviously any news from the evolving administration and their enthusiasm for tariffs and so on and so forth. NQ leaning towards the same, except this isn't a flag. Looking at RTY. We had a decent looking move here, and we're basically back up into the prior highs. On YM, nice move up too, and this was looking we're in the ideal area for a right shoulder high this morning. Obviously we've gone significantly higher. DAX, again, same place, went significantly higher, going through all the weekly pivots here, and ESTX the same. So these are looking less like head and shoulders and more like moves towards the highs, and we'll see how that goes. All right, let's have a look at the big picture charts. All right, SPX. SPX on the daily charts, obviously we're well over the daily middle band, and that was basically broken very briefly and intraday. So we gapped open below it and closed back above it, and we've held it and gone up on the next two. Nothing on the hourly chart. I've drawn in a possible flag here. It's not bad. A sustained break, well, I mean, realistically, by the time we break up the flag, we'll almost be at the retest of the all-time high, but I'm leaning towards seeing that unless we see any more bad news, particularly over this weekend. All right, on the 15-minute chart, we've got an RSI 5 sell signal fixed. It's a relatively minor one. I would say we've got a bad-looking rising wedge here, so I'd like to see this go up through this resistance tomorrow and hold it. We will see how it goes, and it's not the only one, so we've got a bit of possible trendline resistance here we need to go through. On the Qs, never made it back anywhere close to the daily middle band. That's encouraging, although this is the one that I'm still waiting to test the all-time high and ideally get up towards this trend line, which would be the obvious place to land. We've got an RSI 5 sell signal fixed here too on Dia. We've got a weak RSI 5 sell signal fixed, and we test that high, and we've got a full-size RSI 5 sell signal, which would be brewing. Looking at the hourly chart, no current divergence. Getting close towards the highs, but again, I've got quite a nice looking trendline resistance here, which needs to break, but might potentially trigger a retracement here. We don't have a lot in the way of negative divergence, but we'll see. All right, IWM on the daily chart, we saw a break and a whole day traded below the daily middle band. We've got back above it, and we've confirmed the break back above. We're starting to expand the bands here. I'm still skeptical about this coming back in, retesting the all-time high. In terms of the flag, we do have a potential bear flag here, and we've still got the original bull flag, but I'm slightly skeptical about it making target. If we are to make this the obvious resistance trend line, we would get up into about the 2.75 area at the moment. We've got no divergence on the hourly chart. On the 15-minute chart, we've got a possible RSI 14 sell signal brewing, and I've drawn in this trend line here, which really is a nice one, and I'm thinking this may well be the target. So I'm expecting this, in all probability, to go a bit higher, subject obviously to the news, of which we've been having quite a lot lately. All right, looking at DAX. DAX, we've actually got an RSI 5 sell signal fixed, leaning towards seeing a retest. That could be the second high of a double top. Nikkei, still under the daily middle band, not really showing any signs of life. Okay, let's have a look at the dollar. Okay, DX. Saw a move up here, almost retested the high, but didn't quite do it, and then came back, and we've almost made it back into the lows there. Looking at ZB, we've got a bit higher. I've got a decent looking megaphone here on ZB, but I don't have a matching one on TNX. And TNX, I'm really leaning towards going a little lower because this was an obvious potential target, and we got to it, and we broke up from it. And that's got implications, particularly on the TNX chart, which I'll come to in a minute. Okay, let's have a look at the DX chart first. We're still on an old RSI 14 sell signal. I'm wondering whether this is a bull flag forming, setting up a retest this high here at 110.15, 110.015. And if we do see that, then I think we've got an inflection point there where we could either fail, nice looking double top on a retest, or head up into a retest this high here in the 114.75 area. Bigger picture, I'd be looking for a fail from one or the other. And mainly because I've got this huge and very nice megaphone on the monthly chart, and I'm thinking we're either forming a bull flag, take us down into support, and then go back up, retest the high, and maybe go higher, or we go back up and retest this high, set up a double top, and then break down. That's what I'm seeing on the bigger picture. On TNX, I'm still leaning towards seeing a retest of the high here. I've got a very nice bull flag which has broken up, but we got a nice looking rising wedge here, and that rising wedge just broke down. We also had a we had a daily RSI 5 buy signal fixed. It wasn't a strong one, but it has failed. Okay, we have broken down below the this support, and the obvious support trend line to head to is actually a bit down here in about the 43.6 area, and of course we still have an open head and shoulder target, which is down here in about the 42.9 area, and I'm thinking that target may well get made. This was a nice looking trend line, and it has broken, and normally I'd expect this to go at least a little bit lower. All right, looking at CL. CL, we had a real boost from the news over the weekend. That killed the original head and shoulders I called. But there was an alternative head and shoulders, and that's now broken down too. That's got a target at about 64.5 area, and we could make that. Watching this with interest. I'd like to see this follow through to the downside if it is going to head down, and get down under 70.5, at which point, ideally 70. Get off the potential double bottom there, and so some serious intent at getting to the 64.5 area. NG, we had a head and shoulders broke down here with a target in the 2.85 area. We've rallied at 3 so far, but I'm thinking this may well break down again. We've not got really back over the neckline here. It would take a move which got us pretty much up to 3.59 to fail the head and shoulders. We're still in a seasonal downtrend period into April, and we normally see a decent and lasting low in the February to April area, and I'm thinking we may be heading down towards that. We will see. GC, I was leaning bullish, and we've gone higher. Some possible trendline resistance up here in the 29.30 to 40 area. No, actually that's about 29.15 area. But the real trend lines I'm looking at are all on the RTH chart. So let's have a look at SI. GC, we've got 60-minute sell signal fixed. SI, we've got a weak 60-minute sell signal fixed. Possible nested double top here. HG, this did really well. I was talking when we were down here about potential lower bottom here and getting back up into a retest SI. And off it went. That was a very, very nice move. No current negative divergence at the moment. We could develop some fairly easily, of course. Let's have a look at that on the bigger picture chart. And hang on, CL first. All right, CL. We had we've got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed, and that hasn't made target yet. We did have a possible weak RSI 5 buy signal brewing, and that divergence was lost today. So I'm liking this lower. We had actually an RSI 5 buy signal fixed on the daily chart here, and that we lost the divergence today. So I'm liking this lower. I am keeping an open mind as to what, this was a decent break of this resistance trend line here. Could this all be a bear flag setting up a retested slow here at 65.27? It could. All right, looking at natural gas, weak RSI 14 sell signal fixed, hasn't made target yet, or the possible near miss target. And we've got, I've got this drawn as a double top with a target in the 2.3 to 2.5 area, and it could deliver that. We will see. I've got the head and shoulder target on the front month chart with a target higher than that, but I'm considering it. It's I'm slightly skeptical about it getting this low, but as I said, we are in seasonal downtrend period at the moment. All right, having a look at GC. GC, no current negative divergence, and if we're looking at the front month chart, then I'm looking at a target, an ideal trendline area, target area in about the 29.75 area, and I'm liking higher at this stage. I really am. It's GC. I've got the gold index chart. I've got that trend line here. I've got another one potentially up over 3,000. We've gone through a lot of trend lines here. You can see 1, 2, 3 that I drew in on here. I'm now looking at shorter term trend lines, and I'm reckoning that we have at the moment broken up out of this all of these areas. So I'm waiting to see how far this gets. Looking at silver. Silver, we've got some decent resistance at 35.07, and I'm waiting to see if we'll get a retest of that. I think that's the overall obvious target at the moment, and this is not a great bull flag, but such as it is, it has broken up, and we've got no negative divergence. Looking at palladium, palladium has broken up from a double bottom, haven't really made much progress. We've been seeing a bit of a retracement here. I'm still liking the target area up in about the 11.85 to 12.15 range. On platinum, we have broken up from an IHS, basically with a target up at a retest this high here at 107.310. Looking at copper, we went back up and retested this high here at 4.45, and really I'm not seeing any strong reason to think this is actually going to fail here. This was a nice looking setup, and I've got a double bottom here. Mainly this is on this chart here. It doesn't look quite as good on the index, but I'm liking this higher. This has potential targets up here in about 4.6 to 4.66 area, 67 area, and I'm thinking it may well make that target. Looking at GDX, obviously next big target would be a retest this higher at 43.71, and on GDXJ, again retest the high here at 54.18. All right, let's have a look at. Not a huge amount to see on the currencies here. Couple of buy signals, some bottoming patterns here. Waiting for direction from DX mainly. KC is powering higher. This has been one hell of a move. So I'm really liking the way this is looking. I'm not seeing anything compelling saying this is about to turn. Although we do have a weak 6-minute sell signal fixed and a full size one brewing here. Looking at sugar. Been watching this possible IHS neckline in about the 19.9 area, and we're getting very close to that. If we form a right shoulder, this could start a much larger move up. On CC, keeping an open mind, this looks like a bullish consolidation. Sooner or later, this should resolve into a retest of this high here in about the 12. 200 area, I think. Looking at wheat, this has gone higher. I've got a double bottom, an IHS which is broken up, and I'm liking this higher as well. We will see how it goes. So this has got a target, if it can make it, which is up in about the 650 area. There are some indications we might see a pullback here. On corn, we've got a nice looking double top. Initial double top broke down and just fell back up into a high retest. We've got another one here. Looking at soy, again, had a flag, went up into the retest. We got a potential level top here too, so we could see some significant retracement here. On cotton, nice rally here, might be coming back down for a retest. We had a little sell signal on that main target. On lumber, I was wondering about a retest this high here. It didn't quite came fairly close. 60-minute sell signal has now reached the possible near miss target on lean hogs. Sharp move down and being recovered. I think sooner or later this is going to retest this high here in about the 93.5 area. All right, let's have a look at those on the bigger picture charts and on coffee. We've got a nice move up here, and let's just pull this out and see a little more here actually. Let's just pull that out. And you can see the extent of this move. We were down here and we have more than doubled. Coffee prices are heading up in retail, and we are looking very overbought on the daily chart. Now, sooner or later, we're going to see a decent retracement. But sometimes we see moves up here which generate this kind of RSI. And we've got 1, 2, this is the third one on this daily chart going back only about a year and a half. So we've got a nice move. Do we tend to get divergence here? Generally, no. So I think when this lands here, we'll probably see a decent retracement. We wouldn't normally get a daily sell signal from this. And actually, this one here that was generated didn't make a target. The RSI 5 signals, I think, are more reliable, but we don't get many of them. There's no real. The only one we got here is this one that failed after one of these very, very high RSI moves. So I'm not really expecting to see any negative divergence. All right, I'm looking at sugar. RSI 14 buy signals fixed. RSI 5 buy signal made target. No current negative divergence on the RSI 5, and I am liking, as I mentioned, a move up into this trend line here, which is possible IHS neckline here, which is in the 19.94 area. Is it possible that we've already formed the IHS? Yeah, but it would be ugly. I'd prefer to see another right shoulder form and set up a decent pattern, potentially taking us considerably higher. CC, I've drawn in a potential triangle here, and you can see we're actually testing that triangle support since I've drawn it in, and we will see. But if we hold that, then we could be forming a larger triangle here, and that would be the consolidation pattern. On wheat, RSI 14 buy signals fixed and hasn't made target yet. We've got a decent looking IHS here, which is broken up with a target in about the 606 area, and I'm thinking that may well make target. We will see. That would actually be a decent match with the 200 DMA, which is good at 604.66. And overall, this could be a larger part-formed IHS or a double bottom. So we could see a lot of upside here on sugar. Looking at corn, on wheat. Looking at corn, RSI 14 sell signals fixed, RSI 5 sell signals fixed. Hasn't really bothered it so far, but we've got a potential level top forming here, and I'm watching out for that. In terms of this flag, it's broken up, and the flag target is actually up in about the 517 area, and actually these aren't bad at making that target, so I am expecting to see more upside. On soy, we've got a weak RSI 5 sell signal fixed, didn't quite fail, but came really, really close. Here, I've got a part-formed IHS or potential asymmetric double bottom resistance here in the 1100 area, and if we can break up directly from here, that's the next area I'd be looking for. On CT, we've got a possible RSI 14 buy signals brewing. We're going to need to see a bit more upside before that breaks up, and I'll be watching declining resistance here in about the 67.9 area. So I think that's a wrap. All right, I'll catch. I've been a bit distracted this week with some couple of minor family health issues. I should be around fully on Thursday and Friday this week. So, obviously I'll be doing the next one of these on Sunday. So, all right, everyone take care. Cheers.